All right, so here we go. We are actually moving forward. Today's the 22nd. It is RCOS. Hopefully by this time we've started to accomplish a few things. I think Frank Matranga is going to start off our festivities
That's
today.
right. Just going through the agenda. We just have a lot of announcements for today. Probably will be a short, large group meeting here. So we're going to go over some hackathons going on, the career fair. We're going to review what you need for proposals. I'll quick talk about small groups, what that is, how we're going to form them. And then Professor Turner will end with a description of status updates, what those look like, how often you'll have to submit them. And that's where we'll end. I think I will hand it off to Stephen now, I think.
All right. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Nice. So, upcoming events. Hacktoberfest starts next Thursday. If you've never heard of it before, it is an event put on by DigitalOcean and in collaboration with a few other companies, notably GitHub. If you make 4 pull requests on public GitHub repositories during the month of October and they get merged, you get a free t-shirt. That's all you gotta do, and you get a free shirt. It's pretty fun. Hack RPI is November 7th and 8th. It's a bit of a ways away, but it's good to start thinking about ideas early, and it's always a fun event every year put on by students here at RPI. And then the big one, the career fair is this Friday and Saturday. It is entirely digital. You've probably got tons of emails about this. If not, literally just start looking up RPI Career Fair. There are tons of resources, and there are tons of side events as well. So if you want to do some networking, talk to recruiters before the event or after the event, start looking into some of these different events. I know some fraternities put some on, some student groups. There's a lot of things going on. All right, next slide. All right, so now we are into the second phase of the anatomy of the semester, where you're actually going to work on your projects. So from now until about mid-November, it's time to, actually get coding, work on the project you signed up for, and hopefully get some stuff done. Next slide. For mentors, you still need to give a workshop at some point during the semester. So start giving some thought into what you want your workshop to be about, title, description, start doing a presentation. You have to tell us what date you want to give your workshop by September 29th. You don't have to have the workshop finished, but you have to know when you want to present by September 29th. It's a good time to learn something new or show off some new technology to other students, or just generally present something to everybody. Next slide. And at this point, you should have picked a project and be working on your proposal. Proposals are still due Friday. If you're taking RCOS for credit, you should be in the submittee team for your project. If you're not taking RCOS for credit, you don't have to worry about that.
What? I'm at class.
All right, next.
No.
Okay. So we'll go through the 3 things that you should be working on by now. Firstly, the project proposal. Again, this is the document where it's 1 per project. So mainly it will be the project lead who's filling this out. We want everyone to collaborate in the project on this. Note that this is due by this Friday. So for this Friday, we're going to want you to have a document with 1 paragraph saying what your project is. All right, imagine this is being read by people who have no context. They have no idea what your idea is. You want to explain with a summary, explain your expected goals for the semester, and give a list of milestones. We're not going to be holding you to this super strictly. We are going to look at this at the very end of the semester, but it's not like if you don't reach all of your milestones, you're going to get a failing grade. If we see you commit consistently and contribute, you'll do fine. But we do want you to start thinking about what the semester should look like. Next slide. And secondly, of course, you will need a repository for your project. So we recommend GitHub just because it's super easy and the most common one. GitLab works too, that's fine. So if you use GitLab or Bitbucket or anything similar, the only requirement really is that if you send us a link to your project, we can see it without any issues. And of course, that you have an open source license. You must make sure your repository has an open source license. We're going to have a workshop probably on that soon, but if you're not sure, use the MIT license. It's pretty open about what you can do with the code. And your project must have a README. And if you'd like, and this is helpful on GitHub too, they have guides for this. You can add a code of conduct, contributors guidelines, and so on. But you need the open source license and the README. Next slide. And finally, to keep track of the projects for all perpetuity, on RCOS.io, you need to make sure that your existing projects are marked as active. And if you have a new project, you need to create it. And note, we also allow you to link the proposal on your project page on RCOS.io to make sure for whatever your project is, whether old or new, you have your most recent proposal linked on that. If you want examples of this, check out the projects page, RCOS.io/projects. Next. And okay, brief note on small groups. So we pushed this off for a bit since it's been obviously a tricky semester and we've had a lot of new people, especially freshmen, join for experience. So after today's meeting and before Friday, we're going to be pulling all the data from Submiti on all the projects and all the teams, and we're going to be grouping projects into small groups. These small groups will be overseen by 1 to 2 mentors, and we're going to try to group up projects based on similar topics or at least similar stacks. We'll try our best at this, but we don't want to end up with some small groups with 100 people and some with 20. So we'll try our best to even it out. If you have any requests for who you'd like your mentor to be, or if you'd like to be grouped with any other projects, message any of us coordinators on the Discord or the Mattermost, either direct message us or in any of the public channels. You can @ coordinators or current coordinator. This also goes for if you don't want to be grouped with a particular project or mentor. And once this is done, we're going to transform the server. We have a script ready that will group you with your small group. So you no longer see 1,000 channels. You'll only see your private text channel for your project, a private voice channel, and a public channel for your small group with your other small group members and your mentors. If you have any other questions about that, go ahead, drop them on the Discord or Mattermost. Next slide. Now, Professor Turner with these status updates.
All right. So, welcome. I just checked. Just that little pause was me checking to make sure that everything that Frank and Steve said came actually through. It looks like I actually had that recorded correctly, so good job, me. It was purely accidental that worked right. Okay, so so here's the anatomy of a status update. We want you to have essentially 4 parts, but please put your title name, and please put your project, your name and the project's name at the top of the lab report. Or the status update. It's difficult for us to remember. There's 180 of you roughly. It's hard for us to remember who is working on every project. So, particularly when we're trying to go through and remember things from week to week, it really helps us to know what the project is you're working on. So please put the name of the project and your name at the top of your status update. We're looking for 4 other parts, and these 4 parts are really the important parts of it. In part 1, we want to know what you did since the last time you reported. 1 or 2 short paragraphs. Notice I said paragraphs, not fragments of sentences. If you want to do a bulleted list, that's fine, but make sure that it's not just looked at, update, read report. Give us some context, because we are trying to follow what you're doing, and we're trying to be able to give you pointers or to help out where we can. And that's really hard if what we're getting from you is 8 words in a status update, and we won't give you credit for something that's not descriptive that we can't kind of follow through. And this says 80 of you and 19 projects. That's not true. We have 180 of you. I should have looked at that. My bad. We have about 180 of you and about 30 some projects. If you don't accomplish anything, you don't have to make stuff up. It's okay. We understand that during the course of a semester, there are going to be those weeks where you have a calc test and 3 physics assignments due, and your humanities teacher assigned a last-minute 20-page essay. That's going to happen. Don't let it happen every week. We really need you to make progress. This is a real course. We need to see you doing stuff, and we need to make sure that you're moving ahead. So it's okay. If you have to say you didn't do anything, tell us. But please go through and don't do that very often. And please make sure that you're giving this course the attention it deserves for the number of credits you're getting, and hopefully for the amount of fun you're getting out of it. So that's this week, what you accomplished in the last 7 days, the last time since your last status update. We also want to know that you're looking forward. One of the things we find that gets people into kind of a lull is they don't actually know what they want to accomplish in a week. So make up some targets. Give us those targets. Again, I don't want to hear you say something like, continue working on the issue that I worked on before. At least tell me what the issue is. At least tell us, what you're looking at, how you're going to approach it, what didn't work last week, and how you're going to, to push forward. So give us enough details there that we can kind of see where you're going. Sometimes that results in us actually having some good feedback that can get you over one of those lulls. But we always want you working toward a target. We always want you to have a target on your roadmap, right? We want you focused on something. And sometimes this is an educational goal. Maybe one week you'll say, I don't really know much about Node.js, so I'm going to go through the Node.js tutorial this week, and I'm going to do all of the exercises from 1 to 17 or something like that. Part 3, by the way, one of the issues that I often see in these status updates is Part 3 and Part 4 don't actually get put into the status update. You'll just leave them off. We really want to see them even if they're empty. So Part 3 should be a list of technical blockers. Technical blockers are not the same as excuses. Saying that I didn't get anything done because the dog ate my computer keyboard. We can't help you with that, right? These technical blockers are places where you have an issue and you're looking for one of us to come in and help. Saying I have no technical blockers this week is fine. But what we're really, but when you have a technical blocker, something like I am not familiar with Node.js and I've gotten myself lost and nothing I'm doing is working. Well, we have people here who are experts, or at least who are, know in most of the topics. We have somebody who can look into things, and Professor Kuzmin and I, we can help out as well. We have some various capabilities. For one, I'm really good at Googling around even areas that I'm not familiar with. So, the idea here is, where do you need technical help so that we can come in and do an intervention and help you get over a technical issue. And Part 4, this is a really important one as well. And I want this part in there regardless of whether you have anything to report or not. You can say, no links to report this week or this period. But Part 4 should be a bulleted list of URL links to your specific contributions since the last time you reported. And you should always have it called out as a links section or something that denotes where it is. The idea here is that at the end of the semester, we're going to pull all of these together and evaluate to make sure that we can comfortably say that, yes, you did the amount of work that we would expect for somebody, with your background coming in and working on this project. You need to have stuff here. You also need to tell us what you have here so we can make that evaluation. So by having you track this over the course of a semester, what we find out is that we don't have as many people coming to us at the end of the semester and saying, oh, I forgot about this contribution I made. we want to give you as accurate an accounting of what you did. We want to know what you did. We want to give you the grade you deserve, and we don't want to have to, dig through, 300 web searches to find your stuff. So what we're looking for is something here that points us to exactly what you did, exactly the stuff you committed, where you committed it. Again, it's okay not to have a link every week, but if you're going a couple weeks at a time, or you're finding out that the last 3 weeks you didn't have any contributions, come and talk to us. Generally, what that means is that you should be working on doing an engineering notebook or something that will allow you to capture your thoughts, publish them publicly, and allow us to see them, show what you're doing, give a roadmap for other people coming onto the project, things like that. So, if you find that you're not doing this very often, or if you're not having any submissions, please come and talk to us. We can help out, and we can help you figure out what it is you should be saying. So let's take a look at one. This is one that I did this summer. Notice here's the title, Wesley Turner Status Update 1, Project UNK for Unknown. And this is my report on this week. Notice it is at least one paragraph. It says something that I did. It tells what I was engaged of, something about the conclusions I reached, and I opened an issue, wrote the proposal, created the project in GitHub. Next week, again, it's not 8 words. It tells you what I'm going to do for somebody who may not be familiar with my project, someone who's maybe trying to reconstruct what I did in the previous week. Actually, I think if I page on through here, identify yourself and your project. Let us know what you did in enough detail that we can recognize problems and give suggestions. Real and concrete plan, right? You need a goal every week so that you are proceeding forward. Let us know if there are places you need help. Again, these should be technical blockers. I can't do much if your dog ate your keyboard. I can't do much if you were sick in bed. Those are all valid reasons to not get something done, but this is a technical thing. Those should be reported via excused absences or whatever. This is a technical thing. Help us help you. Tell us where you see yourself getting stuck technically. What technical expertise do you need help with? And then finally, concrete clickable links. If you look here, I can actually click on that and get to a commit. Now, it's not much of a commit. It's a README. And it's, one file changed with 2 additions and 0 deletions. So it's a very minor one, but it is a concrete and clickable link. So it's something that you can actually go to and see what I did. And if we're enumerating commits, we can do it there. Okay, that's all I have. We'll talk a little bit more about, if you're new, if you're doing some investigational stuff, if you're having problems getting started with your project, we'll, in the next couple of weeks, we'll kind of talk to you about, how some strategies for getting some commits, getting some open source contributions. Commits are the easy ones, but there are other ways to do open source contributions. We'll be talking to you for strategies on how to do that so that you can perform well, even when you're in these investigational modes, or even when you're not all that familiar with the technology and what you're trying to do is become familiar. So we will do all of that. For attendance, I did not set up Submittee yet, but I will do so very quickly once this meeting is over. Let's see, what do we want the word to be for today? Okay, so I'm going to paste the word into the let's see, we will do, I need to bring up something to type it into. We will make the password today. And that is not getting me bigger. The password for today will be forgetful. Again, this time we'll use a question mark. So either enter forgetful into the submitted gradable once I get it up there. It'll take me about 10 minutes or less. There we go. So either enter forgetful or go to venue, scan this in, or else watch this on venue, or I guess those are all the options. So that will get you your attendance for today. And let's see if that makes, there we go. Forgetful. And there's the QR code. Any questions? So at this point, you should be in your groups, we hope. We want you to be holding your group meetings twice a week. Right now is a good time to hold your first group meeting for the week. So please go off and divide up into your groups. And you should be working on, you should have your proposals in pretty good shape. They will be due on Friday. And like the coordinator said, we will be getting you support in the form of mentors. Again, any questions? Coordinators, are we good?
I think so.
All right. I'm going to kill the recording right now. It's not bad, 25 minutes. Go forth and open source.